Good morning. How are you today? Are you choosing heaven? Are you choosing joy? Welcome to Unity of London at 501 Nelson Street, London, Ontario, Canada. We're so grateful for all that are here, all the beings that are in the fellowship room and the kitchen getting that potluck stuff set up. If you're close enough, get in your car. Potluck, 11:30. Come on. Good morning, everybody on Zoom and everybody that will. We're glad you're here. We're glad you watched. And at Unity of London, we share the same vision statement as almost all the unities of worldwide. And if you're new to Unity, yes, it is an organization. It's actually a movement, and there are spiritual centers all over the world. And we see this vision, and let's affirm it together. We see a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And how are we going to do that? Well, we have our mission here in London, and we see us co-creating with spirit to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening. Well, how would we do that? Well, one is that we believe we are a loving, inclusive, supportive community, that we are all one of the same stuff, just a little bit different, look a little different, wear a little different clothes, better change what's going on in my mind. We smell a little different. But it is pretty cool that we do have that uniqueness about us, but we are all one. So only our egos, our beliefs, and our fears separate us. We promote self-expression. We want each and every person to be the best you can be. Nobody else, just you. And that is an expression of self-love. By living the 5 principles, living what we believe. Principle 1, I am, or God is, and I am. There is only one power active in the universe, flowing through each and every one of us, throughout everything, the life force of the world, of the universe, and it is good. I am, we believe each and every one of us is a divine being or a divine expression of that individual I am. We create through our thoughts, words, and actions, our beliefs. We create our world. We connect by praying. I pray. Prayer is the closest connection, or is your conscious connection of being connected and being able to communicate and co-create with spirit. And it's not enough to just believe those principles and know them. We live them. We must live them. And we inspire people to make a positive difference in the world, be the change that you want to see. And as they say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at do change. And by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life, we can coexist, even though we may not agree on everything. We can agree to disagree in love. And we have some special announcements. Today, our prayer chaplains online is Wilda. So if you're online on Zoom, just type maybe in the chat, in the little message box that you'd like one-on-one prayer with Wilda after the service, or Dawn is also here. And there's a few of us prayer chaplains here available to pray with you one-on-one after the service. Fun Bones for Life, Sunday morning movement. Wasn't happening this morning. There was some morning movement. It was setting up tables, trying to figure out where to plug in crock pots without blowing fuses. But next week, Lindsay will be back doing the movement between the gentle movement of your body between 9:30 and 10 o'clock in the fellowship hall. 2023 condo lottery. If you haven't got any tickets to sell yet, pick some up today. Teresa Van Diepen will be in the fellowship hall. I know you're going to be excited to get food, but make sure you have some tickets that you can share with your friends, or buy some tickets yourself, or if you've sold some, you can certainly hand in some money. But it's a great condo. It's a great draw this year that we have 1 week in a lovely condo in Grand Bend, Ontario, and $500 cash. And as we've talked on other Sundays, so there's 3 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. There are 2 kayaks and kitchen and laundry. So you can bring your somebody else with you to cook your meals and do your laundry, and you can go out on the kayaks because there's a room for that person. So, anybody like to take care of my laundry and my cooking while I'm at the condo? I'll have a sign up sheet in the fellowship hall. So get those tickets and let's get them sold. There's only 500 or 400 tickets, and the draw is on May the 7th. So just a month away. Today we have a potluck from 11:30 till 12:30. And at 12 o'clock, we do have our annual AGM, annual general meeting. So there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff like board reports and financial stuff and budget and election, and you don't want to miss it. We might have some cotton candy, but I wouldn't count on it. And we have last announcement is we're going to do an Earth Day spring project, neighborhood cleanup. So on April the 22nd, which I believe is a Saturday. Yes, Lorraine? A Saturday. We're going to meet here at 9:30. Groups are going to be formed. You're going to be given some supplies and some areas. We're going to go in the general area and do some cleanup around the neighborhood and maybe talk to some of our neighbors and invite them to join us and maybe come over for a cup of coffee or a tea. So what a great way to spend Earth Day. Aren't we cool people? Yeah. Now we're going to have some music by our trio. While they're coming up here, I did forget to mention, if you do have with you your phone, please, feel free to check in on Facebook and give a little bit of a recommendation for Unity, but also put it on silent or pleasure mode. Just the duo today. We miss you, Chuck.
Chuck is online today, but we would like you to sing along. So I've put the words up for you. Do whatever you like. Come on, don't do that to me again.
Blessed always, blessed always, you're the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so strong, and that we rest in God, saying amen. Blessed always, blessed so that we rest in God, saying amen. Blessed always, blessed always, let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God, saying amen. Our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God, saying amen.
Ladies, thanks, Chuck. I'm sure Suzanne was enjoying you singing to her, beside her. Now we come time for prayer. So Unity as a movement was founded over 130 years ago, and it was founded and based on affirmative prayer. When we pray, we speak to Spirit, knowing that Spirit hears us, and what we ask for will be answered in the way that's right for each and every one of us. So instead of begging, God, please take care of this for me, I know that I have within me. So at any time when you need prayer, or if you know someone that's looking for prayer, you may be talking to a friend or a relative and they're very lost and need some encouraging, uplifting words, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for over 130 years. People have been in that tower waiting to answer the phone. Did we have a phone 130 years ago, Larry Baker? No. Letters. At that time, it was letters. And drums, yes. And maybe smoke signals. They have a big piece of property. They could have a fire and have smoke signals, but people have been praying with and for people for over 130 years, and that's pretty cool, I think. And if you would like additional prayer for anyone, yourself or anyone else, you can put their name on a piece of paper that we have up in the front here, put their name in the prayer box, and it will be prayed over here and then sent down to Unity Village. So I invite you now to settle in and go into prayer. So as you close your eyes, if you're comfortable doing so, and settle into your chair, be aware of your breath. Be aware of your heart beating. And these are two things that we really don't have to think about. Spirit takes care of them for us. Each and every one of us together, our hearts are beating, the pulse of the universe, for we are all one. In this prayer today, we hold all of our Unity of London community, each and every one of our members, our friends and families, those who have been here before, those that are here today, and those that will be here tomorrow and in the future. We hold the Unity Calgary spiritual community in our prayer. We hold all spiritual gatherings that are happening today, for we know there are many paths to the one and only God. And we whisper the names of those we'd like to add to this prayer circle. We hold all of those in the world that are hurting in some way, shape, or form. We see those that are troubled and challenged by weather, be it earthquakes or snowfall or rain or ice, whatever the case may be. We see friends and neighbors coming together, helping each other, supporting one another, loving one another. We hold all of our governmental leaders throughout the world in our prayers, knowing that this month, being the power of wisdom, we wrap all of those leaders in the color of yellow, and we see their spiritual power of wisdom quickening, and also their hearts opening so that they make wise, loving decisions. And as we prepare for a great service, we open our individual minds and hearts to hear what is ours to hear that will cause some transformative change. And we prepare to have a great potluck lunch and an outstanding annual general meeting. For today, this is a great day, and we will make it so because we love one another and we care about this community and each other. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And now Lindsay will come up and read from the Daily Word.
The word for today is dominion. And if you were here last Sunday, we talked about dominion and what it meant right after the service. So this is, I thought this was very interesting then. The affirmation is, I claim dominion and direct the course of my life. While I might not be able to control what happens in my life, I am always free to determine how I will respond. Through my divine faculty of dominion, I decide what to think, what to say, and how to act. If a thought of fear or powerlessness arises, I remember all the wisdom, understanding, and the strength of God are within me. Whether I'm organizing my day or moving forward after making a life-changing decision, the principle of dominion is always mine to claim. Knowing this, I move forward in life with quiet confidence. I am secure in myself and in the knowledge that I am a divine being. I claim dominion, and I feel my life expand with limitless possibilities and potential. And from the Old Testament, we read in Psalms chapter 8, verse 6, you have given dominion over the works of thy hands. You have put all things under their feet. That affirmation again was, I claim dominion and direct the course of my life. Take that in. We'll take that in. Our guest speaker today is our beloved Pauline. She has been an active member here at Unity of London, a presenter and a prayer chaplain. She was the past president of our board. Pauline is a student of Unity teachings and has begun taking a course entitled Spiritual and Emotional Maturity by Tony Baum. With her message today, Wise Words and Wise Leaders, please join me in welcoming Pauline Duncan-Thrasher.
Was that such a wonderful platform assistant reading from first-time Lindsay Wilson? Yay, Lindsay. How inspiring. If you just wanted to go home and reread the daily word, today's daily word was full of wisdom, was it not? Now, I did suggest that people bring a piece of paper and a pen, but I don't know if you did that. It doesn't matter. I want to share before any of the slides go up that the words I chose, the quotations, were only ones that came to my mind, not from Google this time, but from the Bible. And we don't use the Bible as much as Rev Lori did. But you'll hear me sharing many from the Bible, several. If you receive today's March calendar, March forecast, you'll notice in the beginning, wisdom of March, words from Charles Fillmore about wisdom. And they're not on the slides, but if you take this home, He really epitomizes the meaning of wisdom. Who among us doesn't need more wisdom? I sure do. In every aspect of our lives, whether it's dealing with an obnoxious computer or being burned with steam when you're preparing fellowship treats, or being greeted with thick, heavy snow on a Saturday morning. We need wisdom to know how to deal with all those and many more areas of our lives. Charles Fillmore says this: the price we must pay. I have to pay a price to gain wisdom. Oh, yes. The price we must pay for the conscious attainment of divine wisdom and understanding is the letting go of the personal self with its limited beliefs. I could just step down now because that really summarizes it, does it not? If you look back at your life as a child or a teenager, or even in your 20s or 30s, and say, oh, I was so dumb to have done that. Where was my wisdom? Well, the blessed part of having white hair or white hair under red hair is that we do gain wisdom. We're bound to. It's part of life. If you just look back at your life, you will say, oh, if only I'd known then what I know now. But life doesn't work that way. So we rejoice in the wisdom we have gained. Wisdom, as Charles Fillmore says, is the ability to use knowledge. I found a fascinating message about Lent, an acronym. And although I won't be talking specifically about Lent today, you may, if you came from another another faith, have been immersed in Lent. And when I say that word, I think I had to give up salt one year. I didn't have to. I thought, what can I give up that is the least horrible? So definitely not chocolate. But I was a big salt sprinkler. So I pleased the nuns and pleased myself and gave up salt. And you may give up other things, but this is something to consider. Let's eliminate negative thinking. Lent. Let's eliminate negative thinking. Is that a challenge? The biggest challenge is saying to yourself, when do I think negatively? Maybe you're thinking that right this minute when you hear that train starting to come by. And you say, there goes that train again. It only comes when the person starts to speak. Negative thinking just filters in. But we can filter it out. We can diffuse it out by being wise, by capturing it and saying, I'm going to let that go. And Rev Paul talked about that last Sunday, if you recall. From the book of Proverbs, this lovely simile: words of wisdom are as refreshing as a bubbling brook. Of course, some people say that they're being wise because they want to sell you something. Has that ever happened to you? When I went to the computer store with my husband, at the end, well, it's just before, probably 32 or 33 days ago, because it's too late for me to return my Chromebook. And he bought me a Chromebook. You might say, Pauline, what does that have to do with wisdom? A lot. Because I didn't think before agreeing to the purchase. Do you ever do something, jump in and you do it, and then you think, ooh, I'm somewhere I don't want to be. Now I have to step back from it. How do I do that? You think about wisdom. To acquire wisdom is to love yourself first. To love yourself as a divine expression of oneness. Doesn't mean that you love all the faults that you might think you have. You love the divinity of you and the humanity of you and the expression of you in this world as God. People who cherish understanding will prosper, because it does mean, as Sylvia referred to in her as a platform leader, letting go of ego, letting go of the thought that you know it all. That can be hard. Maybe you spent years trying to find all that knowledge, and then somebody comes along and says, you do it that way. There's an easier way to do it, Pauline. And you think, you're right. I was wrong. People who cherish understanding will prosper. If you're familiar with the parable of the sower, just raise your hand. Oh, all right. Everybody's afraid when I say, please raise your hand. They're afraid I'm going to ask you to do something awful. No, I'm not. I know Jack is probably familiar because Jack used to have an orchard. The parable of the sower is found in Mark 4, verses 3 to 20. And it's a lovely message. This is how it goes. A farmer went out to plant some seed. As he scattered it across the field, some of the seed fell in a footpath. And the birds, or in my case, in our neighborhood, in our backyard, the squirrel came and ate it up. Other seeds fell on shallow soil with underlying rock. The plant sprang up quickly, but it soon wilted beneath the hot sun and died because the roots had no nourishment in the shallow soil. Other seed fell among thorns that shot up and flourished and choked the tender blades so that it produced no grain. Still other seeds, yay, a happy moment, fell on fertile soil and produced a crop that was 30, 60, even 100 times as much as the farmer had planted. Then he said, anyone who's willing to hear should listen and understand. That's wisdom. How often did your parents or your teachers or your grandparents or a trusted friend give you advice, wise advice, and it just fell on deaf ears? You ignored it. This is a story about us being able to filter out advice that will help us, or maybe advice that won't help us. In our lives, we have opportunities every single day to plant positive thoughts instead of the negative thoughts. Instead of letting our lives be choked around the neck by negativity, we can choose where to go, what to do, who to be with, what to read, what to look at, what to think about, and how to feel so that our lives are lives of joy. When Rev Paul spoke last week, one part, well, several parts stood out for me, but one that really stood out was we all have the 12 powers. They don't control us. They don't care if they're being used or not. Wisdom doesn't care if we use it. It's there. It's like that seed. Are we providing a nourishing, fertile soil in which that seed of wisdom can grow? Are we? Or are we letting vicious talk or listening to the same negative news over and over and over choke out that wisdom? Just things to consider. Now, I shared this with a really good friend who I trust a lot. I said, this is one of the quotations I'm using. She went, oh, Pauline. But it is part of life. We grow through our pain. Pain is unavoidable, whether it's emotional, physical, or maybe even spiritual. We can't avoid the trials, but we can choose to learn through them and from them. And from Joshua, I don't know, I didn't know a whole lot about Joshua until I found this little card from a long, long time ago. And it had a quotation from Joshua. And the quotation was this: be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee wheresoever thou goest. And this is just a little bit more modern language. Did you know that Joshua was the next leader after Moses? Can you imagine how much wisdom that would require? Did you know that he, as a good leader, provided encouragement? Did you know that he was a leader in the wilderness of Sinai? And Moses had specifically asked Joshua to be the leader. So when Joshua shared this message in the Bible, it's a message for us throughout our lives. Be strong and courageous. Now, this is not specifically in the Bible, but it does occur throughout the Bible. My mother used to say this to me, and I would be so annoyed when she said it, because I would be complaining about going back to school. I would say, I don't want to go to boarding school. Just let me go to a normal school. Pauline, this too shall pass. And it was like saying, stop complaining. You have to do it anyway. In your lives, is there something difficult that you're facing right now? It's just aggravating you. Then you could say to yourself, this too shall pass. And it will. It will. Just look back at your life. Now, the offside of this is if you are accelerated, you're on top of the moon, you are so happy, you just want to leap off the platform, go and hug everybody in sight. This too shall pass. It allows us to keep a little bit of a perspective. You might want to write that one down. A cheerful heart is good medicine. If I had more time, I would share so many aspects of joy from the Bible. But I chose two little kids because children are often able to show unabashed joy. You see them? You see them out there and everybody's complaining about all that snow and all that shoveling, and they're leaping into it. There's, yay, here's thick, heavy snow. It's packing snow. I can build things. And the lady I had to choose, because this was from a Diwali celebration, not the one that I attended, but my husband and I were invited to Diwali a few years ago by some of our friends from India. And it was joyous. It was such a generous outflowing. Sylvia will appreciate this, of food because she referred to our potluck. And people throw colored powders at everybody. And I saw somebody just give a look and look at her husband and say, I don't like Diwali. That's okay. We loved it. It was fun. We were told ahead of time, don't wear good clothes. just for something casual, but you don't mind if it gets, and grown-ups, they were just whirling it. And then there was singing and dancing and an outflow of joy. Good medicine. The best medicine. When accompanied with prayer and gratitude, you can't beat it. I don't know if you are familiar with Bernie Siegel. This was one of his books that he wrote called Peace, Love, and Healing. And he does say in it, don't force positive thinking. I know I shared when I was going through a period of really forcing it on myself and not really believing it. That was a struggle. But he's saying peace, love, and healing going together. From the book of James, I took this straight out. Belief, faith, and trust must have hands and feet. Ours. Our hands, our feet. Which is another way of saying you can do all the talking you want. If you don't do the actions, forget it. It's useless. We can talk about love and acceptance and enjoying each other's company right here in unity in our nice, safe, warm building with our food that we know that our friends prepared. Taking it out into the community requires courage, faith, and trust. Ours. Now, I'm going to show you two quotations. This was from John Wesley, way back in 1703. And it was his personal creed. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. And somebody very modern, very today, the President of the United States of America, former long ago President Jimmy Carter, has used this same philosophy. He's gone out into the field with his wife. I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have to try to make a difference. And this is why he will go down as probably the most remarkable president in the history of the United States. Not because of his presidency, because of the life he chose to live after being president. And if you want to find out more, you can Google Jimmy Carter and find out all the wondrous things, all the wondrous activities he engaged in, and the generosity of spirit. You're not past presidents, neither am I, but each of us can do what we can where we are. Could be just what our neighbor did yesterday. His name is Ralph. And all that snow. Now, my dear Dan, bless his heart, got out the snow shovel, the snow blower. It's not a big plow, it's a snow blower. And he's had a really sore ankle, but he went out anyway. And we have a double driveway. It's not gargantuan, but it's long enough. And he was the first person to plow out our driveway before our next door neighbor, Ralph. Ralph then began to plow. He plowed his own driveway. He plowed part of our driveway where all the snow comes, went across and plowed his neighbors. He was doing what he could with what he had for the people he knew. And it made a difference. Ask yourself today, what can you do with who you are, people you're around, in the place you are? And it comes down to God's message. Love your neighbor as yourself. You better love yourself a lot then. You better start by loving yourself a lot, because if you have self-loathing, it's hard to be generous of spirit. If you cherish yourself as a divine messenger, it's easier to love other people. Let us go into prayer. We hold in prayer today all of our prayer chaplains. And you might not see Dawn wearing this today, but this is one of our stoles that our prayer chaplains wear sometimes. We breathe in the love and the vitality, the wisdom, the understanding that is part of us. We absorb that. Feel that love, that wisdom, that understanding flow through your whole self. Let it fill you with a warmth, a comfort, a strength, and a faith that will be with you wherever you are, with whomever you are. May that love, that faith, that wisdom sustain you in times of trouble, knowing this too shall pass. May you absorb this message, feel it in your heart, and just take a moment to give thanks for all that you have, all that you enjoy, all that you can share. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you, Pauline. What a great message and a great reminder. And some excellent quotes. We got to go through the pain and we can get to enjoy the joy as long as we want. But it too shall pass. Now we'll have another song.
You're all welcome to join us. It's quite a simple song.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. Every breath I take, I'm grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I am 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 grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I am promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. Every breath I take, I'm grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am the promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. Every breath I take, I'm grateful. I am the promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. Every breath I take, I'm grateful. I am grateful. So grateful. I am 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 grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open. With every breath I take, I'm grateful. I am 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 grateful.
So did you think when we talked about wisdom, you'd also have to use your math skills? That was fun. And thank you so much, ladies. That was excellent. Okay, now we're on to being grateful for all the money that flows to us, the energy of money. So now's the time that we are going to give thanks for the gifts that are given throughout the week, that are given today, the gifts that are coming next week. And remember, you can always e-transfer your donation to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. Always a good idea to put in the notes to let Hilda know that this is a tithe. If you're paying through Unity of London and e-transferring money for a course or something other than a donation, please make note for that so that Hilda knows where to post the money to in the right place. And as Renee's finishing, I'll ask everyone to join me with the prosperity blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you. And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. And the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. So before we go into the peace song, remember, we're going to share some fellowship. If you're going to go into the fellowship hall and not stay and chat with the people online, please just slide out quietly and keep it quiet in the room so we can share with those online. So let's do our peace song. Yeah. So as you go about your week this week, don't forget about your wisdom. Wear some yellow. Be wise. Hello to everybody online. Hello, everybody online. Hey, hi Vanessa, good to see you. Happy Mexico time. George and Barb and Wilda and Suzanne. Was Chuck singing to you, Suzanne? He sure was. Hugs to Sylvia, Catherine and Larry. Would anyone online like to say anything about anything? As long as it's loving. Suzanne, go for it. And then Sylvia.
It's good to be here. I wish I was there for the potluck because I love all the food. And instead I'll be having oatmeal.
Well, we're glad that you at least got to join us today and enjoy your oatmeal. Put a little
Yeah,
in it,
thanks.
you know, nothing like brown sugar.
Yeah, right.
Change that. Excellent.
I would like to say hello to someone I haven't met before. Vanessa, welcome. It's nice to see you. And my name is Catherine. This is Larry. We live in Manitoulin Island. I guess I'm looking at the wrong camera. It's all right. Anyway, I always love to say hello to somebody I haven't met before. So have a beautiful Sunday. Glad you're here. And hi,
Ab-
everybody else. I know you all so well.
And I'm gonna go, Sylvia, I know you were gonna say something, just to give our Zoomers a little bit
You
of
don't
back.
have your camera?
She's been coming to Unity of London almost every Sunday for maybe 3 months or so. And she's down visiting friends in Mexico. So we're glad she can join us while she's there. She's gonna
Cool.
be here in the end of May, I think, and we'll get to a chance to see her in person as well. So it's great that you're joining us while you're in Mexico, Vanessa. And Sylvia Square, you were going to say something, I think?
Well, yes, I was just going to say thank you, Pauline. Those words really landed on my heart, and I'm so glad that you warned us to have a piece of paper, which I always have anyway, of course. But I was writing like mad, so thank you so much, Pauline.
Thank you, Sophia. Knowing that you're there online means a lot to me. And to all of us who are here, we send you hugs and love and prayers of health and well-being. You are an inspiration to all of us with your faith, your spiritual strength, and your courage. We love you, Sophia.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Hey, Pauline, Larry here. I'd like to thank you for that message also. And I think I'll take it to heart to try something different and jump out there and do something new.
Take a risk.
Take a risk.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Hello to everybody on Zoom. You are here in spirit, which is wonderful, and that's how we can connect. Vanessa, I know that you're in Mexico. I tried to send you a bon voyage message. None of my texts or messages on my phone I can't send them to you, so I don't know what so we can't communicate while you're gone, but
WhatsApp via email, but I discontinued my service because I'll be gone in 3 months.
oh, okay. I didn't quite hear you, but
Can you hear me now?
I'm sorry, I can't hear
You
you.
discontinued her service, Marianne, while she's away, so you can reach her by email, but not any other way.
And I'm glad you got there safely. Love to all of you.
Thanks so much. And is there anyone else? I know okay. So I hope you folks are staying with us for the AGM. We're going to have lunch from 11:30 to 12. So enjoy your lunch and we'll see you back here at noon. Oh,
Just real quick, I want us all to wish Barb well with her knee replacement surgery this Thursday. And just picture an absolute perfect wholeness and health, and just let that light shine. Yeah, all is well.
Absolutely. Woohoo.
excellent. Yes.
Yes.
Right, perfect people, and they'll all have had a great night's sleep, and they are just full of love, and their hands will work magic. Very good. Okay, we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Not soon enough.
Did she give it time to come back?
No, probably 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 o'clock, Suzanne. That's what it says that the AGM starts.
Okay, we'll plan on 12:30.